Welcome back, everybody. You're with us here on Sport Federation TV. We are, of course, talking about sport in the Western Cape. And as you know, one of the codes that's been really doing fantastic in the province, and, of course, having athletes competing internationally. And, in fact, I think last year was, of course, the winner of the sports awards and world records being broken. But archery in Western Cape is, of course, doing fantastic. And in studio with me now is Werner Potgieter, Western Cape archery champion. Werner, welcome to Sport Federation TV.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, let's start at the beginning. How long have you been doing archery?
Tough question. On and off since 2008.
Yeah. What made you get involved?
I love bows and arrows, everything. Anything that flies, anything projectile based, I love it, and it's a very precise. I love the precision of archery, the dedication of getting everything precisely right every single time.
Is that what it takes to be a good archer?
Yes. How can I explain it? It's very easy to shoot a bow. It's pull the string back straight, let it go straight. But the application of that is the hard part.
Yeah.
To get everything to align, every single shot, to get everything perfect, because it has to be perfect every time.
Yeah.
A millimeter off and you miss the 10 ring. So I love that.
So just tell us a little about your style of archery. You guys got different types of bows and different types of venues. Most people in the street just think about whatever they saw in a Robin Hood movie.
Oh, yes. So archery is, there's two basic, you've got your recurve and you have a compound. Now compound is what you see Rambo back in the day shooting with the wheels and the cans.
Right.
And then you've got recurve, which is basically a stick with a string on it. Now,
Right.
when you look at the Olympics and you see the stabilizers and the sights, the basics are still the same. It's
Yes.
still just a string with a stick that you're putting back. The other things help you stabilize, but it's just a string and a stick.
So the Olympic version is the recurve.
Yes, Olympic recurve, you have your stabilizer. Then you've got, well, let's start in the beginning. You've got bare bow, which is your riser, bow and a string.
Yeah.
And you aim with the arrow point. Then you go up a little bit, and then you can add a plunger and sight, and it's becomes something different. And then you get to Olympic recurve, which is the one with the stabilizers and the sight and those things. And that is, I always compare it to pistol and rifle. Pistol, you're accurate close, but the further you get, the wider the spread, and the sight helps you, and the stabilizer helps you being more precise, holding stable, but the action is the same.
Yeah.
Where with a compound, it's different.
So when you started archery, when did you realize that it worked for you, that it became, that it was I mean, did you ever feel that it was easy for you to do? Because you're now at the highest level in South Africa. You're, in fact, we're going to talk about some of your international exploits in a second. But was there a moment in your archery that you went, oh, okay, I can do this. This is easy.
When I decided to go the first day, I wanted to try it out, and I told my wife, let's go. I want to go shoot, and I picked it up and I pulled it back, and I'm like, I can do this.
Yeah.
It's very technical, and I'm a very technical person, so I'm sure I do it. And then I shot my first few arrows, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy my own bow. A week later, I had my little bare bow, and about a month later, I had an Olympic recurve.
You got the gear.
The bug bit, and I just knew this is what I wanted to do. I loved it.
So what was your first competition?
That was the fourth national indoor tournament. It actually happened 2 days after I received my bow in the mail. So I didn't have it set up. Everybody sort of pushed me to go in there, and I got a silver medal, which was with an untuned bow.
So this came naturally.
And it was just, and then it's just from
All right,
there.
so you've competed now, obviously, at a South African level. How often do you compete? Is it, and then when you compete, are you competing against, how's the competition out there? Who's the best? Gauteng, KZN?
Ooh, it depends. Windy days, calm days.
Yeah.
Are you on form? Are you not? Do you have a glitch? Do you have a hiccup? My nationals, I was going fine. I got a glitch and a hiccup. It's a very it's tight on the day. You can say who's the best on the day, and that depends on the day. So to pick the best, it's hard, but there are some of us that is usually, at the top.
And how much training do you have to do? How many times a week do you train?
Well, it depends where you want to achieve. For me, I try and train 4 to 5 days, maybe more a week.
Yeah, 4 or 5 times a week. How long at a time?
Start at 8:30, finish at about 3, 4. Try to shoot about 300, 400 arrows a day.
Wow.
Might vary a little bit less, a little bit more, depending on the day as well.
Yeah. Is it? I mean, apart from being on the range when you're shooting, or whatever you call it, the court, the range, the
yes,
field. Apart from that, do you have to do other types of training?
Yes.
Do you have to go to gym? Do you have to run, stay fit?
I wouldn't say necessarily gym, but there is definitely exercise involved.
Yeah.
I do have some weight training that I do just to keep the muscles just slightly stronger than what I need to pull the bow.
Yeah.
And it's always keeping your joints lubricated in a sense,
Yeah.
so you don't fall off.
So you've got what's been your toughest competition so far? I mean, we want to ask you about you possibly, I think, going to Tunisia for World Championships or qualifying. But before we talk about that, what has been your competition so far? Your toughest?
I would say Turkey.
Turkey?
It was an experience, and
Yeah.
it showed me the level of competition that you're up for. You can shoot great for 11 ends, and then one end you would just not be quite right, and you'll fall off the list of, and I almost didn't make the cut, but that was the toughest. And then you get nationals. I had Vian up there, gave me a good go. It was not my day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So right. So let's talk about that then. I mean, every athlete obviously hopes to make it to the Olympics. There's qualifications,
Yes.
etc. Your next stepping stone, I believe, is Tunisia.
Yes. Tunisia.
What is that?
That's this Africa Continental Championships, and our only real selection process for the Olympics, and there's only 2 slots available. So
Okay.
I'm
How many of you go?
focused.
How many of you go from South Africa to give it a go?
Well, there is a qualification process, so you have to be a Protea archer, which means you have to have a certain score, attend certain events,
Yeah.
and then it's a selection process. So if more than, we only enter a team, usually 3 per category,
Right.
male and female. So if there's, say, 4 people qualified for the team, there will be a selection process before Tunisia to see that,
Yeah.
who's going to go out of the 4.
And then
so
you compete
it's-
against other countries, or do you compete
Yes.
against individuals? Or?
So in basically any event, we have male, female teams, individuals, mixed teams as well. I don't know the format completely for Africa Championships because as the information is coming available, but usually it's male, female, individuals, then teams,
Yeah.
which is 3 archers per team, and then the mixed teams usually is the top male and top female of each country competing, for a slot.
So you go to Tunisia. You mentioned qualifying points, but what does it look like for you guys when you typically go to an event like the Africa Continental Championships? How many days is it? Do you have to book a hotel? Do you have to start climatizing?
Yes. We arrive a day or so before usually a day before the unofficial practice. The tournament usually a week, but 4 days, 5 days. But then it's usually an unofficial practice day where you can come in, get acclimated, see the place, shoot a few arrows, make sure your equipment survives the trip.
Yeah.
And then the official practice days where you shoot in the, in the set order that you were placed in, on the target you're placed in. That's officially, this is where you're going to shoot, this is where you're going to be standing. You can get a feel for that target, that distance, the distance is the same, but just all the things going on in the background. And then it's 4 days of just focus.
So you shoot then for 4 days?
Yes. Not every day.
Yeah.
We'll have the qualification round, which is
Yeah.
your 720 points. Then after that, you go into your eliminations.
Right.
And that's usually, I cannot speak for this format, but from speaking of experience in Turkey, we'll have the ranking round in your first eliminations going on the first day, and then it'll be compound the next day, and so on and so forth.
Now, archery is obviously a very sort of individual sport, but do you guys have a sort of a sense of camaraderie and team spirit? How does it, do you join forces? Do you feel like you've got a bit of a bond?
It's when you're there, it's South Africa versus whoever. We are a team. But if I'm standing on the podium, or on the, not the podium, if we're aiming for a podium spot and I'm shooting against a teammate, or, you know, it's me versus you, and I'm going to try and get the medal.
Yeah.
But obviously there's competition. It's a competition at the end of the day, but there's never hard feelings or.
But you travel together. You're a team.
You are a team until
you have to square off.
Until we have to square off, and then it's me versus you, and then, you know, if we can take 2 medals home, that's great.
Why is Tunisia for you so important? What do you need to get at Tunisia? What could possibly come next?
What could possibly come, if we get the scores needed and we do well, we can get a spot for the Olympics, possibly 2, because there are 2 available, and it depends. I don't want to jinx anything, but there's at least a spot up for the Olympics for the country, and that's what I want to get.
Werner, we'll leave it at that. We'll say thanks for joining us. Good luck for Tunisia. We know it's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes, and we can't wait to see how you guys do.
Oh, thank you for having me, and yeah, we'll hope for the best.
Absolutely. We have 100% confidence. There we go, folks. Of course, Werner Potgieter representing South Africa at the Africa Continental Championships to be held in Tunisia later in the year. And of course, our Western Cape athletes really flying the flag for South Africa and doing proud for the province. That's a wrap from us this evening. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic sporting weekend. Bye-bye.